Hello everyone, my name is Pooja. Today's date is 7 July. Today's video topic name is non-access modifier in a Java. So in a Java there is in total 7 non-access modifier which are used with the class, methods, variables, constructor, etc. That 7 non-access modifiers are static, final, abstract, synchronize, transit, volatile and native. So one by one we have to see. So first is a static non-access modifier. A static non-access modifier is mainly used in a Java for the memory management. And static non-access modifier is used with the class, variables, method, nested class, etc. Static keyword in a Java is used to share the same variable or method in the given class. The static keyword is used for the constant variable used for the constant variables or methods that can be that have the same for the every instance of the class. So first is the static variable. When we have to declare the variable using the static keyword, then it is known as the static variable. Static variable is also known as the class variable. Static variable is declared with the static keyword, and it is a single copy of the variable is created or shared all the object, or when the class is executed it has been created, and when the execution is stopped it will be destroyed. Static variable is essentially is a global variable. Static variable of the class is share the same static variables. For example, static int a is equal to 10, static string name, etc. Second is the static method. The method which are declared with the static keyword, then it is known as the static method. This method contains the only static members or static data members. When the method declared as a static, they have several restrictions like they have several restrictions. This method cannot be directly called without static method. Static method cannot directly call. We have Without object we have to also call the static method. They cannot be refer for this. We cannot refer this method using super keyword. For example, static void sum in a bracket int a comma int b, in that print a plus b. This method is called without an object, and this method is only access the static data like static int a and static int b, which we have to use as a parameter in this method. Next is the static class. The class which declare with the static keyword. We cannot declare the static class, a normal class as a static, but we cannot declare the nested class as a static. We cannot declare outer class as a static, but inner class we have to declare static. That's why it is called as a nested class. For example, public class A, in that static class B, as like we have to declare the nested class. Second non-access modifier is a final. Final non-access modifier declare with the variable, class and method. So first is the final variable. When we have to declare the variable as final, then it is known as a final variable. The final variable can be initialized only once. If you make a variable as final, then it cannot be changed, or we cannot modify, or we cannot change that value. For example, final int a is equal to 10. When we have to declare a is equal to 10, then we cannot change the value of a in whole program. Next is the final method. When we have to declare any method using final keyword, then it is known as a final method. Final method cannot be override in another class, because it's an final, we cannot change or modify. Next is the final class. When we have to declare class as a final, then it cannot be inherit as like we have to use the final non-access modifier. Third non-access modifier is an abstract. Abstract keyword is used to achieve the abstraction in a Java. It is a non-access modifier which is used to create the abstract class and method. When we have to declare the class as abstract, then it is known as abstract class. An abstract class, it contains 0 to 100% abstraction. It contains abstract and non-abstract method. We cannot create the object of abstract class, but they have the subclass. It is also contain the constructor and the it also contains constructor and the static method. Uh, there is an abstract method, so those method which we have to declare with the abstract keyword and it does not contains any implementation, then that those method are called as the abstract method. And we have to use the abstract and non-abstract method in the abstraction or in the abstract class. Next is a synchronized non-access modifier. Synchronized keyword is used to indicate that the method can be accessed be only in one thread at a time. Synchronized non-access modifier can applied with the any access level of the modifier. For example, synchronized void display. Synchronize is a process to get the access of thread at a time only once. When in a multi-threading, two or more thread try to access the same resource and it's finally produce an error. That's why we have to use the synchronize keyword to get the access only one thread at a time. That's why we have to use the synchronized non-access modifier in a multi-threading mostly. Next is the transit non-access modifier. The transit non-access modifier is keep when and serializing the object. When the variable is declared as a transit, then that means its value cannot be saved when the object is stored in the memory. Means when we have to declare the variable as transit, then that variable value is does not save in the memory.